kind of tell me, I guess, how was that experience being like playing a student athlete, I guess, in school?
Yeah, I mean, like it was pretty awesome. I always enjoyed it. So I started playing at like 5 years old, and I pretty much played all sports, baseball, football, basketball, track,
Yeah,
all year round. Basketball started taking the lead probably around seventh and like eighth grade. So like in high school, I just did basketball and track. But the one thing I loved about sports is that team feel, that camaraderie. Like that was something that I really appreciated. Um, my dad actually, so I guess this is transitioning into TSU because some like people ask me sometimes like, why did I choose TSU? Part of why I chose TSU is because my whole life from playing sports, I had my mom and dad at the games, and that's like a big deal, And when I was deciding on where to go, I'm like, man, my dad gonna go broke if I can go play in California somewhere. My dad gonna come to the game. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? So and I had kind of grew up on campus at TSU through NYSP camp, which is a summer camp, and I had went there for like 4 years in a row. So TSU really felt like home. But in terms of my experience, one thing that did happen is so I went to McGavick High School. Like I said, my mom sent me somewhere else to like kind of get me away from my friends and expose me to a more diverse school. And my senior year, I ended up graduating in honors. Our senior class was like 400. I graduated like 60 something, right? I go up there to get my honors sash, and the doggone teacher gonna start laughing and like, oh, Roshaun, you such a jokester and blah blah blah. And I'm sitting there at at this point, I'm old enough to instantly know racism or stereotypes. I'm well versed in that by this point in my life. I'm what 17,
yeah.
and it took the teacher beside him to nudge him and was like, nah, there go his name right there. And that teacher just like, oh, gave me my sash and like moved on. Like no, my bad, no nothing, So it's things like that. Of course, it just motivates you to want to do, even better. But yeah, that's just one experience of many because I got all kind of AAU stories too. So
Yeah, no, that sounds like definitely an experience that would have stuck out with someone and definitely would kind of give you somebody like make you think and give you an extra push, just kind of give like a new world experience. Because that's like a world experience. Like you said, you've seen it before, but just to kind of see it firsthand, maybe from somebody that you didn't expect in the position that
mm,
you didn't expect for
mm,
it to come from would be kind of wild for sure. So before we kind of get into TSU, can you talk to me, I guess, about your high school experience in regards to because I know you played basketball, but what was your first love? I would say because you said you played multiple sports as
mm.
well.
It was probably basketball.
Basketball.
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay, okay.
basketball. So the one thing I would say about my high school experience that if I don't really have any regrets, but in hindsight,
Yeah,
if I would have went to White's Creek in high school, I'm pretty sure. Well, I know for a fact I would have had a higher winning percentage in high school, but I'm pretty sure we would have been in Final Four of the state. So like that's one thing when I think back on high school. But as far as my high school experience, my mom was right on point by
yeah,
exposing me to a more diverse population. If I'm being, transparent,
yeah,
going to McGavick, that's where I went to high school at, I was like, white people are cool. Like, there's some cool white people.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
prior to that, I had never been in large groups of like white people.
yeah. Now I can
So
understand that.
I probably even had bias from my worldview. So, but that exposed me, and it was awesome because now I'm not as limited. And then I got even more exposed when I went overseas and played because that opened me up to the world and culture, and just made me a more well-rounded person. Um, so yeah, those are two things that come to my mind when I think about high school.